These are notes on multiplying polynomials. Some of this you may have seen in Math 1 or a previous course, and some of it may feel a little new to you. So just keep that in mind. Some definitions first. A polynomial is an algebraic expression that consists of two or more terms. So algebraic meaning we've got some numbers or some constants, something along those lines. A binomial is a polynomial with two terms. So this is a binomial here, x minus 7, two of them, an x and a negative 7. A trinomial is a polynomial with three terms, tricycle, bicycle, two wheels, three wheels. An example of a trinomial can be found in the third example down here, where I have 6x squared, a negative 7x, and a positive 8, three terms. For our first example, we're going to multiply a monomial, it's not part of the definition, but just be aware, one term by 2. And this we're going to use distribution of multiplication over addition. And this is really important so that later on you don't make mistakes when you're just multiplying various 3, 4, or 5 things in a row. In order to use distribution, you have to have one of the pieces be addition or subtraction. That's the over addition. So I kind of like to show my work here in two different ways. The first is by using distribution and using what I call a rainbow. So I've got 10 times x and 10 times negative 7. The other way I can do this problem is I can actually draw this as if it's a rectangle. So I can say, okay, I have this rectangle where I've got a 10 and I've got an x minus 7. So they're the dimensions of my rectangle. And then I multiply in order to find the area of the rectangle. So 10x minus 70, which gets us our 10x minus 70 still. Our second example gives us a binomial times a binomial. And so for this, I actually have to do distribution twice. I have to do it so that I distribute the 4x to both terms and that I distribute the negative 9 to both terms. So there are, again, two ways to do this. The way that I was taught was just simply using these double rainbows is what I call them. 4x times 3x, 12x squared. 4x times 2, 8x. Negative 9 times 3x minus 27x. And negative 9 times 2 minus 18. And then I can combine some like terms in here. 8x and negative 27x are like terms, and when I combine them, I get negative 19x minus 18. Now the second way to do this is to use this rectangle area method. So when I do that, draw my rectangle a little bit bigger this time, make it a little easier, is I use the first binomial to be one of the dimensions, either the vertical or the horizontal. I'll use it as the horizontal in this case. And the other binomial as the vertical, so 3x plus 2. And then I find the areas of each of these little pieces. So 4x times 3x, 12x squared, negative 9 times 3x, negative 27x, 4x times 2, 8x, negative 9 times 2, negative 18. And then I combine the like terms here and I get the exact same answer as I got over here using the double distribution. In my last example, getting a little more complicated, I am going to have us multiply a binomial with a trinomial. The process here is no different. I simply have to have the two terms in the binomial distribute to all three in the trinomial. So 2x times 6x squared, which is 12x cubed, 2x times negative 7x, which is minus 14x squared, and 2x times positive 8, which is plus 16x. And then I have to do this again with the negative 1. I unfortunately have left very little room to do that, so I'm going to do red pen and you go over still instead of the under. So negative 1 times 6x squared, that's negative 6x squared. Negative 1 times negative 7x, that's positive 7x. And negative 1 times positive 8, which is negative 8. You'll notice that I line these up in a very particular way. I line them up so that I have my like terms already above each other, so that then when I come through and add, I can just add down like you learned in elementary school. Now the second way to do this is again to use this area idea. So I am going to draw a longer rectangle this time because I need space for the 3 terms. So 6x squared minus 7x plus 8. And I need room for the 2 terms, 2x minus 1. And then I fill it in. I find the area of each of these little boxes. So 2x times 6x squared is 12x cubed. 2x times negative 7x is negative 14x. 2x times 8x is 16x. 6x squared times negative 1 is negative 6x squared. Oh, whoops, small typo. There we go, 4x squared, negative 14x squared. Negative 1 times negative 7x is 7x. And then negative 1 times 8 is negative 8. And when I combine like terms, I get the exact same answer as I did when I used that double distribution, the rainbow method. Again, doesn't matter which method you use, you will get the same answer.